Good morning, everyone. EagleX here with ATX EagleX Gaming. Today I have our Market Watch for March 4th. If you guys do enjoy this content and think I've earned your subscription, please subscribe to the channel. I can't believe you guys have supported me so well. Already at over 130 subscribers. I'm just barely over 2 months into this. But with that, if you guys are already subscribed, I appreciate if you guys like and comment on these videos as well, as it helps improve the algorithm and helping other people find this channel. Anyway, starting off our Market Watch today is sealed product as always. We're seeing the rise of 1.0 boosters. They're in the almost $85 range. I remember when the game first came out, it was super short printed. This was like a $200 booster at one point. But it's 85 bucks basically right now. It's the top end because it's first print booster that should be out of stock by over a year. And in this stuff, there's lots of good staples that are used today, tamer wise especially, which we'll get here in a moment. Then we see on the low end, EX1 box is around $46. It's risen by like $1, but it's not going up crazy fast. Then we see everything else is pretty healthy in the $60 to $70 range. But if you're trying to do sealed investing, 1.0 is a great pickup just to hold for the long run, because they're drying up in the market. They're kind of hard to come by. And then for other sets, they're pretty fair. I like opening BT5 still because there's lots of staples, but that's the sealed part of this Market Watch. Let's move on to some new stuff. First, did you guys see? Analog Youth was bought out again. The regular art's also been going up. He's like $3 right now. He's been roughly $1, but he's starting to go up as he's a really high demand card from the set. But if you guys have extra copies of these and you don't mind taking a little extra cash, definitely a good time to move them. But I will be honest with you guys, this is going to be a card that's going to continuously be bought out because it's a staple for a lot of decks in the future. Even though we don't have the Mega Digimon Fusion Cheese combo anymore for Susanomon, he's just really good by gaining a memory and hatching an egg, playing around memory blockers for colors like Red Hybrid, working with basically any of the special ancient orbs, I guess it's Ancient Greymon, Ancient Garurumon. They die at the end of the turn. It's a great trigger to gain a memory, hatch an egg, and basically extend your plays for your turn. But it's also really good in purple for filling trash and doing some searching as well. Analog Youth, they're going to hold the high dollar mark, and because of that, I do expect it to raise the price of classic collection boxes. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, the box will go up because this card keeps going up as well. And now we're getting to the next adventure. And if you guys haven't seen, these are the stamped cards. At every pre-release, you get a pre-release pack. In the pre-release pack, you get a stamped uncommon and a stamped rare in every pack. Now, if it's an uncommon and it's stamped, it makes the card foil. It makes it shiny. And for some unknown reason, I know they're high demand, but like last set, Savior Huck was like the most desired stamped card, and he settled around $20, $25 after restriction. Before that, he was like 30-ish tops. But the fact that Jet Sylphie's a $50 stamp and Zephyrmon's a $30 stamp, like we have so many high dollar stamps. I guess it's because there's a lot more demand right now. And this is a really touchy thing to point out, like, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? These are more volatile. It just really comes down to what demand there is for these stamps. What sees play is typically a good indicator if it's going to be a high dollar one. But like, some of them have been dropping. Pride Memory Boost, its lowest is below the market, which means it's overpriced. People aren't buying it still, so they're trying to lower the price to move it. Stamped Nidhogg, on the other hand, it was too low at the $7, and it's almost $20 now because people were buying it up. So people are trying to keep the price stabilized. Like, you'll see, like, these are actually moving for pretty high dollar fairly quickly. That's the only reason that you see them at their prices at the moment. Like, people have been paying close to 25. That's what market means. It's the average purchase price. People have been buying for 28. People have been buying for 39. So people are testing the waters to see if they can bump it up more. Enough on the stamps, though. Like, if you like your shiny cards, you like your shiny cards. I love them, but I struggle paying that much at the moment. Now, just next venture stuff, BT7. If you do high to low, you're going to see people are dumping product today. You're going to see a lot of listings below the market price, and that's to help move it. They're trying to meet demand, but you see some cards are going up. Very few are going up, like Allotmon, for whatever reason. It's above the market price. But you'll see almost every single one is below the market price. So like those pre-sale prices aren't holding super well. They never really do. But the high-end stuff, Susanomons, the alt-arts, they dropped from like 90-ish down to almost 60. The regular one's $20. And this is something I would keep on your radar. Because $20 for a secret that sees play with the Mastamon starter decks, it's probably going to go up. And I'll probably be trying to pick up copies for roughly $15 for these Lucies. And Susanomon being the other staple I'll talk to again in this video. But he's just a staple that's used in lots of decks. Yellow is probably the one that can use him best because they have ways to get memory, like Blinding Ray, their tamers, get them extra memory at start of turn, especially if you're playing the Shine variant. I expect his price to hold pretty well. If anything, it might even go up after this initial dump of product and people listing singles. That's our BT7, though. Next, I want to talk about one-year box toppers. These were in BT6 boosters. It's part of the reason the boxes hold their value. But you can see, like, the ones that don't see play really are kind of low. As the more playable they are, the higher dollar they go. One-year Aldermons were bought out this week. They went up to like $50. It didn't hold that well, but it doubled the price from like the $7 mark to the $14 mark. That's why market's slightly going up. The demand's high. Red Hybrid is very hyped. But I also want to point out, the one-year Upamon, it's been bought up and bought up. It's used in Blue Hybrid. It's your 4 of egg still. There's no reason this won't drop in price, really. It's going to be relevant. The memory blocking Terriermon, though. This is one I want to point out. It sees a lot more play in green. Memory blocking in these formats is really good in side deck, especially for DigiFest, so I expect more tech cards to be going up in price because of that alone. I think this is a good long-term one, though, really. Its price is fair, and I can see it be played a lot in the future. Okay, so now we're in next adventure, and we have tamers not just from this set, but from previous sets. If you guys remember, Davis is holding roughly his $12 price tag. Nothing new. But we see the Sora and Joe box toppers have basically doubled in price. They were 5s last week. They're 10s now. And then nothing else is really crazy in Blue Tamer world. Everything else is fair. Like, you don't see crazy amount of play from some of these. Sora and Joe's, like I said, are the main ones I'd be looking at from old ones. And for red, and I did pull this up for all colors, you can see ties are going up because people are realizing Jesmond is still one of the best decks in format. This is their main tamer. It's also used in Red Hybrid, but it's not as crucial in Red Hybrid as it is in Jesmond. And nothing else really notable here. Point out in yellow, we got a few yellow cards. Starter Deck TKs. I was wrong, guys. I said these probably wouldn't see play. They're seeing a lot more play than I thought they would. So they went from 25 cents to $4 this week. And they're down to 3 again, but that's something I was definitely wrong on. It happens sometimes, but he is a staple seeing play, and that's why I kind of watch Yellow Tamers as a whole. Stamp TK cards are roughly 20, box topper TKs roughly 20, regular TKs roughly $8. That's roughly where he sits, so it's fair. Same with box topper Zoe. I'm actually surprised she's as cheap as she is. It is a brand new set, though, so probably give it time and it will probably see a price move. So that's the one I'd probably look out for price-wise. I think the Zoes are a good pickup. And purple. Did you know purple box topper Kari went up? That's because she is splashed into yellow hybrid, and she's really good. When you guys heal frequently and you have multiple of her out, you can end turns prematurely. So she sees a lot more play. The other purple tamers, not really. Just mainly her. Pointing out green tamers. Green tamers that see play. It's going to be your JP. He is your main Tamer now for green. Tamers that support him really well, though. Star Deck Izzy. I want to point this out, guys. There's not any other ways to get Izzy. And if you play the Christmas hybrid, he's really important. You do lots of suspension in the deck. So, because of the TK precedent, I think this might be a good one to pick up or at least look into. And then Mimi is your memory fixer. Ken's being played a little bit more, but he's not like everyone's favorite. Mimi is still good for raising and promoting Digis. In the Black Tamer world, Black doesn't really see a whole lot of play, guys. If anything, you try out the new X antibody stuff, or you just go back to the good old Diabormon. I'm not expecting anything crazy in these prices. I think they're fair at what they are. So then we go to some staples. Shine Greymon is the hyped up yellow deck for yellow hybrid as one of the main boss monsters. The Shine Greymon SR has been moving. It's mainly people with high dollar shipping is what makes it look cheaper than what it is, or the Japanese copy. He's roughly a $9 SR. He's going to hold this price until he either stops seeing play this format, or there's something better figured out for yellow, I guess. So, yeah, stop seeing play. Alt arts, they're $30. They are what they are. They're fair. Red decks that are popular, though. Jesmond, we see a $3 Jesmond. We see $18 alt art, $170 event pack 2. This is going to hold for a bit, just because it's so new and they're not in circulation anymore at the moment. When DigiFest happens, I expect Jesmond to be played a whole lot, so this will probably be part of the reason this price holds or goes up. Same with this one. It's going to hold, but they will be giving out Event Pack 2 at that event, so this will probably go down a bit from then. And also, we do have the Jesmond Star Deck coming out soon. This is going to be a card I would keep your eye on, because I do see this being a very big key player still in the future. And the other red deck that we've been seeing a lot of play is Red Hybrid. And Digimon promos, if you guys remember, these were like $8 when I started watching them. They're $20 a piece now. This is a necessary 4 of if you play Red Hybrid. It just keeps going up. Ancient Greymons are the other piece to it, though. The secrets, you got $61 Altar and $46 Secret. I think when I watched these, they started at like $22, and they've just kept going up. If you aren't playing this deck this format, go ahead and sell these. This won't really see play in future formats. So it's a 1 format deck, but it is a very good tier 1 deck. The purple deck that I expect people will be playing more than anything is still Lilith Loop. It's a bit more aggressive. Lilith is still a very good card. Eismon is insane. That's all I have to say about that there. It's a fair price. It's a good card. Now, looking a little bit ahead, at the end, well, it's technically the start of BT8 is when we get our new starter decks. Magna Angelmon is going to become a 4 of again. It's one of the best call targets for the new Mastamon. So, as I've been saying, keep your eye out for this. Susanomon Fall Down Mode is the other great target. So, call this or you call Susanomon Fall Down Mode, you get really good benefits. And Zwart Defeats pair really well into this format. And with the new starter deck also, this is your only way to interact with Tamers besides All Delete. And this is more realistic than All Delete for decks in my opinion. And did you guys see Susanomon promos? They got bought up again. This is the only promo that's really relevant without any type of reprint still. Do I expect this price to go down? No, not really. But he is kind of necessary to play black in this format and next format. He does fall off in the BT9 format X Antibody deck, though. If you guys don't play X Antibody, it's definitely a good time to dump these and get some money. And to go with X Antibody, do you know that the altar is the same price as the promo? I didn't. Decisions you make, though. Then regular Alphamons are roughly $20 a piece. If you guys have been holding on to these, it's not a bad time to move it, but it does get better in the future. So just figure out a price point where you would feel comfortable with selling your extra copies. And then I do like looking ahead in future formats. This is BT8 stuff with EX2. February 1st is when we saw the new restriction and ban list hit Japan. And if we start looking after February 1st, I just want to point out, if you see this little blue-green icon here, that's Imperial, like the new Jagras starter deck one. And as you can see, it took the meta by pretty big demand. And if you guys don't know, it is one of those you swing, attack, restand decks. You use the new starter deck one, and all the Jagras Digimon get refreshed. This is a little bit more of an armor deck than a pure Imperial deck, but it's same top end. You attack, you restand. All these tamers are great. It's a great tamer to restand your digis. But Japan kind of shifted towards security control at the end of the format to counter all the Imperial decks. So if we start seeing yellow, red here, this is how people started reacting to Imperial decks. They started building security control again. But what I was saying about the Imperial decks, though, is I think the armor decks in Imperial are a strong contender. Because of that, VMons are really good cards to look into for the long term. I believe in VMon and V-Armor decks being probably one of the Tier 1 decks when we get to BT8. So these are definitely cards I would look out for and consider picking up extra copies of. And to pair with that is Susanomon. Even though Mega Digimon Fusion got hit, if you take a look, every yellow deck still uses him, even some other decks. But he's just such a good card, and he's really good if you go against security control, because it gives you a bigger deck. You don't deck out. Put 10 cards bomb your deck, you have a longer deck. So that's why I point him out. And to wrap things up, BT9 format, I'll keep this short here. If you guys don't know, we have green Jesmond in the form of Grandis Quagumon. You Digiburst, you get a bunch of checks, you attack, you have piercing, so you could go over Digis. Grandis lets you restand, using all those checks again. So that's like your new OTK, your new Jesmond deck. So Grand Quago promos, probably another good thing to start picking up for very long term. I expect it kind of be like the next Aguni, honestly. And then if we look here, the other thing that's super popular is Gaio Mondex. He works with the Black War Greymon. Rakdos, I think is what they call it in Magic. It's red-black. And as you can see here, for long term, I would definitely say look into getting Nokias because they are played with your red Black War Greymon decks. This was a long Market Watch, guys. I appreciate if you watch it till the end. If you enjoy this content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I can do to make these videos better for y'all. That being said, take care, y'all.